Early this morning, May 30th, there were three drone attacks on Moscow. Three drones hit three apartment buildings, two inside Moscow itself, and one just right outside of Moscow. It happened to be that one of the apartment blocks was right next to my home in Moscow. If a drone missed about 50 yards, then it would fly basically right into my apartment. We live on one of the top floors, and the drone smashed a little above 25th floor. No one died, and everyone's shaken, but that's fairly obvious and expected. Why these attacks are important? They are an excellent showcase on how Russia works, and Russian government and Russian people. The government, the defense, the people. I'll show you on this example, and you will be surprised. In this stream, I'd like to give you the story of the attacks because it has touched me personally, and show you how the government in the works in Russia today in May of 2023 and what is happening in the Russian society inside of Russians' heads. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you important news updates and they explain what's really happening in Russia. What you will not find here is lies, propaganda, or BS. What you will find, truth, common sense, logic, and emotions, because I'm a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. In the first 30 minutes or so, I usually give daily message. It's not the point today. It's not the case today. I will talk of the attacks, of what happened, and what's happening now. And, I'll invite everyone to join the live stream chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, listening, giving me a chance. Let's talk about it. First things first, I'd like to get that out of my chest first. There have been many questions today. Our apartment in Moscow is about 50 yards from the place of the attack. Our apartment was not attacked directly, but the place of the attack, happened about 50 yards away from us. There are three towers standing next to one another. And in my pre-war live streams from Moscow and videos, I showed the towers many times. They are seen very clearly. If you watched my live streams from 21, 20 videos, then you will recognize the place quite well. Number two, surprisingly enough, two other attacks happened near the office building in Moscow where I worked for about 15 years. Not exactly at the building or not right next to it, but in the vicinity. But I think it's just a coincidence. Number three, some members of my family were present at the apartment during the attack. The members of the family were there for a solid reason, important enough, so I let them travel back to Moscow, not for such too of a long period of time. For them to be there for some time was a necessity, and it's still a necessity. Just trust me on that. I would never let my loved ones travel to Russia if I knew they were in danger, and without a good reason. Number four, all my family members are safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing the stream. And number five, I will not give any more personal details about my family members. When circumstances change for the better, I will show you the whole picture and I will explain, but that's going to happen in the future. So let's jump right into the attacks. I was woken up by telephone call. My loved one called me, shaken, saying there was an attack. Well, it was an explosion. At that time, it was not an attack. Explosion somewhere close by. Well, happened to be 3 drone attacks, 2 in Moscow and one right outside Moscow. There were more drone attacks. There were more drones flying, but they were shot down by Russian missile defense system. Those drones were shot down near southwestern part of Moscow region that is adjacent to Moscow itself. The region is called Rublyovskaya Шоссе, and it's Russian Beverly Hills, Russian Monaco. That's where the rich and famous live. And who in Russia, the rich are, of course, the politicians. Rublyovskaya Шоссе is the home of Vladimir Putin himself, his family. Minister of Defense lives there. All Putin's friends from younger days. Chief prosecutor Dmitry Medvedev, the head of riot police. All Putin's people and their families live there. That's the place to live if you rule Russia. So it turns out that that area is well protected. All drones on the way to Rublyovskaya Шоссе were shot down, and no harm was done to anyone. But none were shot down when they were flying towards regular apartment blocks where regular people live. Now, from now on, I'll be telling you the story from the eyes of a couple witnesses who were actually there on the ground. I remember I used to live there for quite a few years, and I've made many friends, and I'm in contact with them still. So there was an attack. The attack. People woke up from a big explosion, obviously. Many came down to find out what happened. 4 in the morning, 4:05 to be exact. You saw the pictures, numerous pictures of the results of the attack. 4 in the morning, Wednesday morning, everyone's sleeping, big boom. So police comes first. At first, they didn't know what to do. They blocked the road, and no one knew what happened. Emergency ambulances came within minutes. At first, people who came down and they were looking up, ogling, so to speak, and they were shocked. They were walking around, wandering around, not knowing what happened. There were rumors immediately. People started talking that there was a gas explosion, natural gas explosion. You see that apartment buildings, many older apartment buildings in Russia, built in the USSR, they have direct supply of natural gas. Natural gas flows right into the ovens, stoves, and all you have to do is just, turn the lever and you have a natural gas supply. It's dangerous because guess what happens? Here and there are natural gas explosions in apartment blocks, and sometimes the entire apartment blocks gets destroyed. It's mighty explosion when the gas explodes, ignites. So the newer apartments, they do not have natural gas supply, and this is a brand new tower. It's 7 years old. It definitely does not have natural gas supply, but people come up with crazy theories, just to explain. And then after a while, everyone started telling that it was a drone attack, and the police were telling it was a drone attack. It was obvious. Russia started waking up around 8 a.m. By that time, lots of people already had gone home. Because, hey, there's not much to see. You come down, you see the bunch of police taping the place off, and, not much action going on. So the locals went back home, but the Russia started waking up around 8 a.m., and all news were about the attack of the drones in Moscow. Federal news were reserved, but they said every single news outlet, Russian propaganda said they were attacks on Moscow, on residential buildings. And independent news, they were quite more emotional. There are some independent news, but they operate from outside Russia. I've told you that many times. So they were quite emotional. And boy, around 10 a.m., just a bunch of reporters flocked into basically where my house is. Tons of reporters, every single major news channel, tons of people, emergency services, city service people, police, military, you name it. And they were even YouTube bloggers. One famous YouTube blogger was sitting literally on a bench in front of our apartment building door and looking for material to film. I'm pretty sure we'll have a video coming out soon from him. So then the reports started coming in and from all over the world. And my apartment, for a brief moment, became very famous all over the world. I even saw it on CNN, not live, but a video recording. And guess what? If you knew where to look, you could actually see my car parked. Yeah. All morning, I and all Russians with me, well, most of Russians, were waiting for the reaction of you know who. First, there was silence, and what usually happens for the first few hours after something unexpected happens, there are discussions up there, what to do, what happened, assessment of the damage, and they're making the decision what to do next. And Dmitry Peskov came around noon saying, making a statement basically. His statement was mild. Basically, nothing extraordinary happened. Terrorist attack by Ukrainian regime just proves that whatever we're doing in Ukraine, we're doing the right thing. And from there on, it became clear which direction things were going to. See, that point in any event, that point is hugely important. Once decision is made, everyone waits for the decision. Once it's made and it's voiced publicly, then it's a signal to everyone in the government where to go to, which direction. Not a big deal. Oh my God, this is a crime against humanity, mobilization, that's a different direction. Today, there was no big deal. So, to me, I had one question on that point. Is it a really Ukrainian attack or false flag operation? And I'll talk about it later, what I think. But at that point, that's the only question I had in mind. Vladimir Putin came out. He usually doesn't do it. He sends messages through Dmitry Peskov, his spokesperson, which is totally wrong, in my opinion. But today he was doing a speech at some kind of a small-time conference, who knows. Anyway, and that's what he says. I will not quote him because his speech was quite long, but I'll just give you his points of his message. That's what he said. I repeat, we did not start this war, and we do not use the means used by the Ukrainian bigwigs. That actually puzzled me very much. I'm wondering if what kind of means are used by the Russian forces when they bomb Ukrainian cities. But anyway. Another confirmation back to Vladimir Putin, another confirmation of this is the attack on peaceful objects in Moscow. Our air defense system worked normally, satisfactorily. Although there is something to work on. No shit. We face the same problems at the Kremlin airfield. Khamenei airfield in Syria. It is clear what needs to be done to seal the air defense in Moscow. Oh, it's clear now. It was not clear before, right? Okay. We will do it. We have already talked about the possibility of striking decision-making centers. 2 or 3 days ago, we struck the headquarters of the military intelligence of Ukraine. In response, Kiev regime has pointedly chosen the path of intimidation of Russian citizens and attacks on residential buildings. This is a clear sign of the terrorist activity of the Ukrainian authorities. I am concerned about the attempts to provoke our response. Apparently, they exist to provoke us to mirror actions. We'll see what to do about it. His speech was fairly clearly understood, but I mean, to me, it was like, what the fudge? I mean, he says, we did not start this war. Who did? Who took responsibility on the 24th of February 2022? You did. You personally came out and said to the entire Russia, this is my decision. I am responsible for, making this decision too. And now all of a sudden we did not start this war. We do not use the means used by the Ukrainian bigwigs. We do not use the means. Well, I'm puzzled. I don't know what to say. What kind of means does Russia use in Ukraine? What kind of means do Russian armed forces use in Ukraine? Rockets, drones? Is it? Well, anyway, so his message was fairly this. It was mirroring Peskov's message. Nothing extraordinary happened. All is cool. We will work harder, and everything's going to be our way. Good luck with that. So, in the media, things started cooling off immediately. Putin sent a signal. The attacks were started being shown less and less on the TV, and things were kind of like went into the path of normalcy. Everything's normal. People, on the other hand, people who witnessed, who were woken up by the boom, they started getting shaken much more by the end of the day. They started freaking out. It's an effect of delay. When something bad happens to you, you start, like, it starts getting to you a while after it happens. Okay, it literally starts shaking. So many people were shaking. There were so many talks of what the hell is going on, talks of possibly moving away from Moscow and so forth. So not much else has happened in the second part of the day. There are currently people working on top of the roof of the apartment block right next to us, trying to fix things. And I think they are city employees. The police is present, but not much. Things are calming down, so to speak. There is still no word of what happened to the people in that apartment. The drone, it looks like the drone did not fly into the window, did not fly to the apartment. If it did, would have been a different story, but it blew up right outside. Obviously, there's been much damage done to the apartments on the 25th, 24th, and 23rd floor. You can see it from the pictures. Why these attacks are important, I think. Because they are an excellent showcase of how Russia currently works. The government, the defense, and the people. I've made a few points I'd like to share with you. The first is the government. The government has shown today the perfect strategy of nothing extraordinary important happened. Again, it happens again and again, but today was the biggest event so far. Before, the biggest one was the attack on the Kremlin, where the same strategy was chosen, and it's actually worked well. On the air of federal TV channels, practically nothing has been reported about the largest drone attack on the capital and its vicinities since the beginning of the war. Russia 24, that's a second major news channel. That's always, this huge audience, people, Russians, which mostly Channel 1 and Russia 24. So Russia 24 emphasized that the buildings were slightly damaged, not a big deal. It's not going to cost anything to you. They're just slightly damaged. And all drones are suppressed. We saw how the drones were suppressed by getting smashed into a wall of a residential building. That's how it is. Or perhaps they meant the drones that were flying to the big shots' homes were suppressed. Oh, they were. TV channels did not interrupted their broadcasts for special news releases, special news reports. When something big happens, they interrupt and breaking news. Nothing like that happened. There was no sign with inscription Argent on anywhere on on any channel, Russian channel. That usually happens during emergency events. The message of Russian government is this: nothing major happened. We told you. Okay, that's enough. We did not lie to you. We did not try to silence it. We told you. Yes, there were attacks in Moscow, but all the drones were suppressed and the damage slight, not much. So, people, move on. Look at this summertime in Russia. It's real nice outside. Why would you want to talk about this stuff? Just go out, have fun, nice weather. Go back to chilling out, go back to drinking vodka and watching TV, the movies and serials, everything's normal. The damages, forget it. Won't even recall them anymore. Number 2, this drone attack, drones attack showed us once again, gave us the proof that air defense around Moscow is non-existent. A huge proof. The proof is seen from my apartment. Go and check it out yourself. Remember the pictures a few months ago where they showed large trucks on top of buildings right inside of Moscow? There was a large supposedly air defense truck being installed on top of Ministry of Defense. That picture went all around the world. And I was questioning them. I was thinking whether they're fakes or not, but it turns out they're not fakes. I thought that was some kind of psyop. But no, they really need air defense systems around their major buildings. I remember one was being installed next to Putin's residence. One was being installed on top of the military of defense, on top of military buildings all over Moscow. They're real. Folks, trillions of rubles have been spent from Russian taxpayers' money, from taxes paid over the past 20 years, to have allegedly the best, a very effective air defense system around Russia. Trillions of rubles have been stolen from Russian people because on paper, this missile air defense system exists and it's the best in the world, or second best, or excellent. In reality, well, my neighbors, because 3 apartments, 25th, 24th, and 23rd floor, they're heavily damaged, and you can see it in the pictures. My neighbors saw how well Russian missile air defense system works. That's the proof that this thing just does not exist. Number 3. Good showcase how people think in Russia. Let me talk not about the government, not about government employees, government policies, propaganda. Let's put that aside. Let me talk about Russian people. You see, my apartment, I know almost everyone quite well. I lived there for 6 years before I left in September of last year. I still talk to some people. I'm still a good member of that apartment block, a member in a good standing, so to speak. Um, Very few people know that I moved away, and probably they think I'm on away on a business trip somewhere. So I still am a part of our house, our home apartment block chat. You see, people get into groups in messengers all over Russia for different reasons. And one of the reasons is neighbors. To know what's going on inside of our house, we have a neighborly chat. And it helped me a lot. First of all, I am always informed of what's going on inside of the apartment building. Someone making noise, someone moving out, someone moves in, someone, everything. That's very convenient. That's a way to stay in touch with the neighbors. And it helped me a lot. Someone was knocking on our door trying to break in. Um, and we were in Rostov in the summertime. Oля was attending university and she was scared. She called me up and I wrote in the chat saying, "Hey, neighbors, I need your help. Please go and help out Oля." And 5 or 6 men at midnight, they just rushed to protect my daughter, right? So that's pretty cool. And I also, people asked for help. Someone was flooding someone. I also helped. So that's a pretty cool and very convenient thing, that guy was breaking in, turned out to be Ola's, friend, a guy from her high school. He got buzzed and then he was knocking on Ola's door trying to invite her to go watch a movie at midnight or something. So anyway, it was not a big deal, but people helped. People responded. And today there was lots of discussions in the chat. Everyone was like, the chat was boiling. There were like hundreds and hundreds of messages. And guess what people were doing? They were filming and taking pictures and sharing in the chat among neighbors. And then in the afternoon, Russian General Prosecutor's Office released a statement saying, watch out, be careful for not posting any photographs of the accidents because they can be considered as fakes. And people started discussing that. They're saying, wait a second, what the fudge? What fakes? I got up 4 a.m. because of an explosion. I stepped out of my apartment. I saw what was happening. I took pictures. I, filmed. And this is this fakes? What kind of fakes are they? This is exactly what happened. And this is the evidence. And some people came out in chat and they started saying, well, you know what? It's not about the evidence. It's how they're going to look at your evidence in court. If in court they will consider that it's spreading the fakes, then, this goes your proof. So people started deleting what they had posted previously, films, videos, and pictures. And it's quite a few people came out. One person made a statement, something like this. Dear neighbors, please do not share any photo or video material. Everything you need to know, you will see in the news reports tonight. And they were a few dozen likes underneath that message. To me, it's a showcase of how many Russians think. Well, they rather do not think. They don't want to think. There could be different reasons. Afraid, not enough wisdom, or simply too stupid. I don't know. But they do not think. They try to shut themselves down from reality, even if reality knocks on their door, literally. Because nothing can happen even bigger than happened bigger to my neighbors. That happened in the morning to my neighbors. Absolutely crazy to me. But this is exactly what has been happening, and I'm giving you first-hand experience. So that was point number 3, and point number 4, last but not least, people in Moscow finally understood that war is not happening someplace far away, and it's not just one of those things, not important, but rather they've been living in the country that has been waging a war on Ukraine for the last 15 months. It's been an eye-opener for a few people, not many, but at least for a few. They got, for the first time in their lives, they got a taste of war. And this is also, I consider this as a hugely important topic. And now the last thing I'd like to touch is to talk about, is this a false flag or not? I don't know. The head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, after the drone attack today, called for martial law in Russia and full mobilization. He said, Russia needs to mobilize all the resources, let's do it. Now, if something like this happens, that immediately smells like false flag attack. Because it happened before. Russia is not unique in this thing. It happened in Russia with Finland. It happened in Germany with Reichstag. This is a classic, but what we're waiting for is the actions. Never look at the words. Always look at the actions. If these attacks will be followed by radical actions of Russian government, then this was definitely the false flag attack. If not, then the questions who they organized, who executed, they remain. Ukrainian government today, someone said that, I think Zelensky said that no direct connections to it. Well, phrase direct is very ambiguous. And someone in Ukrainian Telegram channels claimed responsibility, but I think it was just a bravada. Okay, so I am still searching and waiting for the answers. And at the end, I must say that I, Konstantin, for the first time, I tried the taste of war myself. I am in Tashkent. I am safe. But imagine, what would you feel if you're woken up by a telephone call saying, hey, there's been an attack, there's been an explosion right next to us? How would you feel? Let me tell you, I wish at that point when I heard that, I wished that I was there with them. I wished I was there to at least control situation, to provide some kind of help, to provide protection and things like that. Not being there and knowing that they are in danger is not a good feeling. And I'm putting it very mildly. So I understand now, at least tiny little speck, I understand how many Ukrainians have felt and what they have gone through. Because when a drone hits a building next door, an explosion is fairly, it's loud, but it doesn't do a damage to the building, at least structural damage. No one dies, that's one thing. But if a Russian rocket flies into an apartment block and it collapses and the entire block is on fire, that's a different thing, So I understand how many Ukrainians feel and what they have gone through, and this is a tragedy. And once again, I say, please forgive us. Folks, this has been my story for today, and I'd like to turn on the live stream chat to hear your comments and perhaps questions. Before I do that, I ask you, please be nice. Not the easiest day for me. The mods are we talked about it, and they're not gonna tolerate any hate. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all. So thank you very much for coming and watching and listening. I hope you found something interesting today. Let me turn on the live stream chat. There you go. Mommy and Lorna, number one as usual. Howdy, howdy, friends. Howdy, mods. So the usual suspects are here. So many people. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for giving me a chance and watching. Was an unusual stream yesterday and an unusual stream today. No message, but personal story. Let me tell you, when the war comes to your house and it touches you, it feels pretty darn bad. That's scary, and it's just incredible. Very unexpected too. Although in general it's expected. I mean, what do you expect? But you don't expect until something happens to you. You know what I mean? It's like with a car accident. You know that a car accident might happen, but when it happens, that certainly doesn't happen expected. Jason Carney, thank you so much, friend. Thank you for coming, supporting. Your messages are usually without words, but they are worth thousands of words. Thank you so much. Folks, if you want me to read your message easier, notice your message easier, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after @ sign. Helps a lot. Jumps right into my eyesight with highlighted in orange. Just like Mr. Kaliskan from Chicago did. Linda, howdy, howdy. Harry is here. The mods, Black Cat, Harry, Bob S, and I believe that Amir is not with us, but he's with us in our hearts and in our minds always. Pentium 100 megahertz, howdy, howdy. Roy Cousins, Doug, Pale Demery Gray, Scott Nesbitt, Ferrari Guy, Linda, Samsa, Millie, Remy Leon, Pamela J, Aspen English, Faith Russer, Dan, Sam, 2 minutes to midnight, Sam, Carmen, Ken, BF65. Howdy, friends. We have a few new sponsors. Nainakai, thank you so much. Welcome to Deep Inside Russia. I appreciate your support. I create private live streams for sponsors of this channel every Saturday, 9 p.m. Tashkent, and I make announcements in advance. So please come and join the private stream this Saturday. And thank you, Jason Carney, for sponsoring 5 people. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Team Wanderloo, howdy. Glad to hear family is all safe. Thank goodness all safe. Thank you. French Fry, good evening. Thank you so much for good words. From Zurich, Rise Minister, thank you so very much. From Belgium, Kurt Bowles, Pinda the Peanut, howdy. Florentina, thank you so much. Migs, hello from Thailand, howdy, howdy. Neina Nakai, Neina K. Neina K. Sorry if I'm misspelling the name. Really glad that everyone important are safe and okay. Still really scary though. It does sound like a lot like false flag up though. I would find it odd when if Ukrainian army attacked civilians. Let's wait and see. Latsi the misanthrope. Thank you so much. The first thing that came to my mind was who would profit from this situation? And that's an excellent question. That's a question I always ask myself. Ukraine, no. Anti-Putin Russian saboteurs, no. Perhaps someone would have profited if the destinations, other drones would find their destinations. Who knows? Perhaps they wanted to scare. Perhaps the drones that smashed into apartment buildings were off course. I don't know. Like I said, at this point, I'm searching for the answers myself. We'll see what happens. Так. RW, thank you so much for coming, my friend. Thank you for helping. As a fellow Papa Bear, I know the need to protect. If this war Ukraine it was a mistake. If this was a Ukraine, it was a mistake of Putin. He gets to say, oh, look, even the elites get attacked. It justifies escalation, inspires patriotism. You're right, and you're right. Could have been a mistake, could have been Putin, could have been not Putin. Not clear at this point. If what Kadyrov said publicly, and then pay attention to that, if that starts getting further action on the Russian side, then it would be definitely a proof of false attack. Jeffrey S. Midnight, a punk is ringing your daughter. No. He wasn't ringing. He was knocking on the door, and then she was too scared to come to the door and ask who it was. So she called me up around midnight. And I immediately wrote down in the chat, and I called a couple neighbors, and the 5 men, within 5 minutes, were at my door, like big guys. And that was a scrawny kid. Turned out Ola knew him, and he got buzzed, and then he wanted to take her out on a date or something. The drunk teenagers. So it turned out to be not a big deal. When I came to Moscow, a couple years ago, it happened. She was a freshman. I came to Moscow and I bought, what in Russia, that's what we do. If someone helps you out, you gift them with something. So I bought 5 bottles of good vodka, and I came and I knocked on everyone's door and I gave them saying, hey, thank you so much. And this is how you bond with your neighbors in Russia. French fry, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the help and the message. Thank you. Keith from Hawaii, how's your car? Been trying to sell it, but no one wants to pay the price. Everyone wants to have it real cheap. Dirk, I wonder if the drones really came from Ukraine. How did they get to Moscow undetected? Good that your family is safe. Well, Dirk, there are more questions than answers. It is possible to fly from Ukraine undetected. Now, there are, certainly a fellow German flew to his small plane all the way from Germany, and he landed on the Red Square. After that, anything is possible, my friend. So they wouldn't have made it if Russia had air defense system, but obviously it does not. Okay, so anything that can happen now. Harry, have you had noticed what Prigozhin said? Just before the stream, I saw he actually came out publicly and he started bashing the ones in charge, the elites, saying what's too bad the drones missed. They should have gotten right into the house of Shoigu, things like that. Um, so it was another bold, crazy statement from Prigozhin. So he really he supported the drone attackers, whoever they are, and then he bashed the elites. White Lightning from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Howdy. Palm Tree Kate from the UK. Howdy, howdy. Darla, thank you so much. No message, but this message is strong enough. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cinnamon from Canada, thank you. Jeffrey Cornish, good day to you. Always wish you well. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Elise Dumbrell, Multi Ducky. Russia should be waked up now. Judging from my neighbors, very few are. That's why I made it one of the points worth explaining more. Judging from what the neighbors said and what they liked, the attitude is this. The government knows better. Wait, do not spread any pictures, even the ones that you personally took. Because they can be represented in courts as fakes and misinformation. The ones you took personally, how can they be freaking fakes and misinformation? Disinformation. But keep quiet, remain silent, and you will get all necessary information from the evening news. When I saw that, I was like, I want to unsee that, okay? This, in my eyes, is how Russia is dying, my friends. Because if Russian people say that, feel that, act that, then nothing can save that country. RW has just given sponsorship to 20 people. Thank you so very much, friend. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woody is here for you. Thank you so much, Woody. Natalie from Texas. Howdy, howdy. Susie Mailer. Lorraine Rush, nothing to forgive, sir. I pray for you and the loved ones. Thank you so very much. Wayne Perry. Even if you were back at home, chances that you would be in Ukraine. Well, yeah, I don't want to discuss that. That's pretty obvious. Yes, I agree with you. The chances are I wouldn't have been, out there doing whatever I wanted to do. I would be either in Ukraine or I'd be behind the bars. Okay? But the point is, when I heard that happen, when you hear this, when you hear that your loved ones, not even in trouble, but they call scared, and you forget about everything else. You forget about personal dangers and risks, and all you think is, I need to be there now. I want to be there now. You know what I mean? So that's a very strong feeling. Declan Connolly, good evening. How do you think this will change things, or will it? Will change a little bit. More people in Moscow have waken up today to the fact that the war is right at their door, knocked on their door. That's planting seeds, so to speak, in their minds. We'll see what happens next. Lawrence Mitchell, thank you. Carmen, thank you. Um, 2 minutes to midnight. Are your neighbors okay? All my neighbors in my apartment block, in my tower, are fine because the attack happened to the tower right next door. The tower next door, the site of the attack. Well, if you look at the picture that I sent to all patrons, and even here to a community post, you will see that the drone hit the structure, the building, the cement, at about 2 yards above 25th floor window. If it was 2 yards lower, it would have flown right inside and it would have blown up inside and everyone would be dead. But it did not hit inside the apartment. So the windows are smashed, obviously, on the 25th, 24th, and 23rd floor. 24th and 23rd, just the windows, and you can see structural damages on the 25th floor. Okay. I don't know. The rumors say it that everyone is okay, no one has died, because the area affected was the living room. My apartment is literally the same. Okay, I know exactly where it hit. That's where a TV is in Russia, in Moscow. There are 3 bedrooms, no, 2 bedrooms. It's really strange, like apartment design. This large living room can be divided into 2 parts, or it can be one large living room, or you can make an extra bedroom in it. Okay, so it appears that there was a large living room, and right behind the walls there are 2 bedrooms. And it does not look from the damages that people in the bedrooms would be affected much, and I hope they weren't. But the rumors have it again that no one died, no one was hurt much, but officially, we don't know. The neighbors are definitely shaken. I was told that that's all they talk about, that's all they discuss, and they're freaking out. Some more, some less, but that has definitely has a trace in them, so to speak. Scan family, I'm so glad your family is safe, and others in the building. Thank you so much. Seb Mez, 1984, Russia is pushing the limits of decency further, what I could ever imagine. I was not expecting 1984 double speak to exist in real in my lifetime. I made a live stream, I think in December of last year, and it's exactly called double speak 1984. Double speak has been present in Russia for the past 6, 9 months, 15 months, I don't know. Double speak, you would not believe it. Me too. I'm wondering how this could have happened. I never thought that double speak would exist in my lifetime, but it's out there in Russia. Exploring with the Zuinas. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Prayers from London and to your family. Thank you, Rainmaker. Thank you so much. LJD3, thank you. Thomas Lee, howdy, howdy. Brian Crook. Sam K says that moderators are legends, and I totally agree with that. Second, that they are legends. Eleazar Hernandez, Ola from Mexico. Ola, my friend. Good to have you. Thank you for coming. My neighbor. Good evening. Most likely false flag drone because it didn't do damage. Could be. Veronica, thank you. KG1, thank you so much. Looks like false flag event and also an attempt to target you in a sick psychological way. Take care. There was a comment from someone, I don't remember from who, but on the Patreon saying, Constantine, are you sure it wasn't assigned to you to shut up? And my first impression was no, it was not, because there were other attacks, I was not singled out. But then I learned that two other drones. They landed near the office building where I went to work for, I don't know, like 16 years, 17 years. And I was thinking, well, what's going on here? But I think it's a coincidence, Uh, sick psychological way. That's right. French Fry, welcome to Inside Russia. You're a new member, and welcome. Great to have you. Thank you so much. This is the best community on internet. Karino, so glad your family's safe. Thank you, friend. Terrifying experience, yes. Different kind of terrifying. I've gone through many terrifying experiences in the last 15 months, but this was a different one because when we have concerns for your family members who you love and they're like in immediate danger. Well, when I learned about that thing, they were not in immediate danger already, if you know what I mean. But still, the feeling is absolutely terrifying. Viking, well, that's I tend to agree with you. Ann Larson, thank you so much for sending prayers and thoughts. Thank you. Carlos C., why do you think Putin comes out to comment the drone attack? I don't think he came out on purpose. He had that speaking at that event scheduled for a long time, and it just happens to. Well, I don't know if it happened to be or it was planned or whatever, but he did not come out specifically for that event. If he did come out, no, if he came out, then it would have been big. Then something would have happened. Either the martial law would be announced or things like that. Hang on. Bjorn, thank you so very much. No message, but this message is pretty strong. I definitely heard it. Thank you. I have heard it. Josia Vantoyen, do you think it'll bring Russian people on the streets to protest? No, I don't. It didn't even bring them to share the photos freely. Okay, they did self-censorship, saying, "Oh, don't you think of changing exchanging the photos here? Whoever put the photos, please delete them now because they can be considered as fakes and disinformation." And some people started laughing, but some people were being serious, okay, and they liked that message. They got rid of the photos, so I don't think that will bring Russian people on the streets. Definitely not. White Lightning, howdy. You're one. Thank you. Ukraine won't target you. Solidarity saved Poland and freedom of Russian League and save Russia. God willing. Well, White Lightning, I'm not really worried about Ukraine targeting me. Um, I understand that I can become collateral damage. Okay, this is life. But I really have no anger about that. It's really crazy to expect that nothing happens to you when your country is doing such atrocities to a neighboring country. Okay, that'd be absolutely crazy. And I'm not crazy. I understand the risks to me and to other people in Russia. Jason Carney, thank you again. Definitely number one fan, and I am your number one fan too. A plus Russian. Hey Lenny. As someone who grew up and Lenny disappeared. I'm sorry, my chat jumped and there is no... Lenny, if you could double your message, like send it again. I lost it. I'm not seeing it. Kumik, welcome to Inside Russia, new sponsor. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lenny, please send the message again. Interesting. Zaz81, are the Russians not mad that the air defense system does not save them? Look, if I was Russian, I'd be mad. You know, because it's their money. I mean, they've been paying for that system for generations, for decades, for 2 decades at least. Look, they're not angry. They're not mad. They don't even think about it. Why? They just go back and keep on drinking vodka and watching TV, and that's everything is. They know everything else is taken care of by the government. Okay, they're safe until they're not safe. Sam, do you think if it was a hit from Ukraine or an inside job, go back please and watch and listen to what I said in the stream? That's exactly where I discussed in my message, in my story. I discussed that. Just Terry, this community is a wonder bar. I'm not sure what wonder bar is. JC0204, happy you're not in Russia. Thank you. Thank you. I wish I was in Russia, but in a different Russia. Free, democratic Russia, where people were safe, where people were peaceful, where people were not oppressed, and there were liberties and everything. I wish I was there, but I'm definitely happy I'm not in the current day Russia. Sam K, never ask a lumberjack if he's got wood. He won't appreciate it. It's a wisdom, but it's beyond me. I don't understand it. Dave Strains, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Mama Two Boys, howdy. Ann Larson, Koshkin Dom, howdy. Kay the Gardener, even nearby explosions can rattle and break windows in other nearby structures. I saw the damage that even one home oxygen tank blown up in a home fry did in my mother's mobile home park. But if you look at the pictures, the damage was done. The damage is, in my mind, the damage in my eyes is extensive. An entire window frame got out of its place. I mean, look at the pictures. Scott Nesbitt, do you feel if Russians keep getting drone attacks that the Russian people will start to protest? Man, this question is tough. One little tiny question, but the answer is like the size of planet Earth. I don't know. I've been thinking about that. What will get Russians to get up and start, not necessarily protest, but start changing things? I don't know. I'm still searching for this answer. Thank you. Sean, thank you so very much for your help. I appreciate the help. Thank you, Sean. Just sent $10 here and $90 bought me coffee. That's 18 coffees. Thank you so very much, Sean. Pleasure to have you. Thank you. Big hugs to you, and thanks for 20 sponsorships to people on this channel. Thank you, appreciate it. RW, thank you again. Think you may have outgrown Russia, but I would love to see you in charge. Glad family is okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not cut out to be a politician. Politicians are certain kind of people. That's not me. In charge, um, I'm afraid I can't be in charge. I've been in charge of different people all over, like throughout my life, and but I can't picture myself being a politician. Honestly, that's lying. That's trying to pleasing everyone. That's not telling the truth and things like that. That I wouldn't make a good politician. Jekyll N, thank you so much as usual from Australia with no message, with no words, but this message is mighty powerful. Thank you so much, friend. And there's a sponsor, Pal B. Thank you for joining the sponsorship and welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you so much. Diana Smith, in other news, I have a garden full of baby blue tits who have no idea that they need them. They need to fly. Trying to make sure the cat doesn't get involved. Luckily, he is hopeless as a hunter. Well, thank you. Good news today. There are always good news and there are always bad news. Life isn't balanced. SW, if possible, it'd be safer to get your family out of there. You better believe. Like I said, I have pretty sophisticated plans, but I'm not about to tell them here. It's in public, and perhaps one day, when everything is over, where then things change, that I definitely will tell you what has happened. Wayne Guin, a drone strike is usually a lot more powerful. There was a video of a drone strike that was shut down. Holy moly. I was like a mini nuclear bomb when went on. It's on internet. I watched it. It got shut down in the field and someone was filming it, and boy, there was a big boom. Thank goodness that thing didn't smash into the apartment. Half of the apartment building would have been gone. Camille S., do you think Moscow is still safe to live? It is safe when the drone attacks don't happen, you know. Everyone now answers this question themselves, himself or herself. I cannot give you any advice on how safe Moscow is. It's obviously not too safe, as we learned this morning. Bob, backwards, thank you so much. Live, so it'll be quite interesting to see what happens in the upcoming nights. Well, we'll see very soon. The upcoming nights are coming up. Great Southern Land. I think Ukraine would have leveled the building if it was them. Your thoughts? No, I don't think so. I sent pictures to some of my friends in a different country, and they sent me pictures back. They said, look, these people in the apartment, they got off quite easily. This is what happens. And I saw how when like different pictures. I saw when some rockets flew into the buildings, then one apartment was on fire and the rest of the building was untouched. Okay, either drone or a rocket, most likely a drone. So kind of similar damage. So indefinitely did not level the building. So, and then there were other pictures of buildings leveled in reality. I guess it's different charges, different bombs, and different arms, things like that. It depends. Trudy and Barker, how can drone come 500 miles? Is it possible? Very possible. The current drones, they can fly up 1,000 miles easily. Um, and both Russian drones, Ukrainian drones, uh, the drones made in Iran, you name it. Two minutes to midnight says, yay for safe neighborhoods. Good neighbors need looking after. Thank you. Cheryl Watley, denial is very powerful. People will ignore their very eyes in favor of the propaganda. Cheryl, I second that. That's what is happening in Russia. Julie Coombs, I'm confused. Your title says the drone attacked your home, but you're also saying it was an apartment block up the road. Not up the road. It was apartment block right next to mine, 50 yards. So the drone did not attack my apartment, but it attacked the place where I live. Ukraine hitting civil targets would provide neither tactical nor strategical benefits and bring about greater negative consequences to them. Why would they do that? Well, there are two reasons, possibly two reasons. First is PSYOP. They want people to start getting freaking out. Second is those drones they lost controls of the drones and then they just smashed into the targets, or it was a mistake or something. That was a mistake or something, possibly. Jason Carney, thank you again. The champion of super chatting. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Caesars, good that you are where you are. Thank you, agreed. Although I wasn't thinking this morning. Scott Nesbitt, thank you for the message. I think you appreciate it. How's mom dealing? She's shaken more than we are, because she worries for everyone. So, but other than that, she's good. James Sutton, thank you. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you so much. What's heat seeking? Diana, thought you might be interested to know that I have found a new cafe today, very suitable venue for community meetings. Not a breakfast club, but plans for a range of get-togethers. In Tashkent? Diana, where? Or in London? Yeah, please let me know. All right, folks. Snow MYR, thank you so much from Canada. Snow, you must like snow. Thank you, friends. I think that's time to wrap it up. Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance today. Thanks for being with me. I would like to invite everyone to join me in prayer as usual. This is my usual prayer list. And let's do it. Thank you, friends. KG1. Suspected Russian trained spy whaler appeared in Sweden coast. Yeah. Thank you. Friends, please join me in prayer to our Lord Jesus Christ. If you are a non-believer, then it doesn't matter. Please join me in prayer. I have this theory that everyone who is alive has heart that is beating. And if people have hearts that beat every second, that there is love in those hearts. And I haven't seen one person without love. Some people have more, some less, but everyone has love and to someone or something. And love is God in my eyes. And therefore, if you have love in your heart, you have God. And, if you don't believe in God, it doesn't mean that He doesn't believe in you. So please join me just to send good wishes, good vibes, and good words to people. Thank you so much. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for giving all the experiences. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and grow them in a way when they grow up, raise them in a way when they grow up, they will become better than us. They will make this place a better world. They will never engage in any wars. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy, dear Lord. Please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who are responsible and capable to make the decision. Have them wake them up from their lethargic sleep so they understand what has happened and will make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected. Send them recovery, send them love, send them help, answer their prayers, and make their wishes come true. Please send every person in Ukraine an angel, so the angels keep the people away from harm's way. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia, assemble an army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords led by Saint Michael and send them down here to earth so they come down and get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Have angels run Russia and make it peaceful. Dear Lord, please send help to all who are traveling. Send them safe travels and help those who are seeking for asylum right now, especially families. Help those who are sick, hungry, jobless, homeless, depressed, with low self-esteem, and in general not feeling well about themselves. Please send them your love, shine your light upon them, surround them with your warmth so they feel better about themselves. They get up, they smile, and they will have a chance for happiness for the rest of their lives. Please help all the single mothers who are struggling making ends meet. Please send your help to them. Dear Lord, please send help to all Ukrainians who are suffering from the strikes, from the bombings, and from the attacks. Send your help to those people. Please give us peaceful skies and blue skies above our heads, regardless of who we are and where we are from. And send all people in the world help to understand that we are one, and fighting wars with one another is a tragedy, unnecessary evil, and manipulation by bad people. Make Please make it so everyone understands that, and everyone sees your light, and everyone will turn into the side of the good, away from the side of evil. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us all together and into this community and having this community. Thank you for um, allowing us to come every day and pray together. Thank you for that. And I would like to ask you to help everyone and bless everyone who is praying along with me or just watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. I would like to mention for a few people who are in need of your help real bad. They are Wayne, Shirley, Debbie, Finola, Lars Henrik and Lars Henrik's mother, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Choriz and family, David Porter and family, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Boss Simon, Alvin and Alvin's sister, Teresa D., Terry Carter, Joe and Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Diana and her family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel, Life, Karine Wesser, Pamela J., Daniel 9, Lindsay, Larry, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Karen, Jamie, Michael Milkovitz, Marlene, Paul Bins, Richard, Mallory M., Dirk Misler, Lynn, Terry, Richard Burris, Angelica Life, and Scan Family's grandson, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, and Yuri from Mykolaiv, Harry's family and Harry, Verlinda's niece, Doug, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade, Kaltenberg, Brittany S., Allison, Dave Moyers, Maureen M. and her sister, Bob, Matt, Mr. Hanson, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church, Gold Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Cumbrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Kyle's wife, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and Sergey, Susie Mailer, Gina, Wayfarer, EMS paramedic Liz, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, Thomas Fall's mother, Margaret, Linda Trombley, RT, Per, Sarah Stokes, James Gentz, China Bill, Greg, Jim and Shirley Hall, Ann Larson, her family and daughter Hannah, Florentina, Max family, Sherry Morin, Patty L., CKOC, Brian Wilkes, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Matthias, Amir's uncle Dicky, Ruth, Alona and her boys, Susan, Rudy Kaisley, Darla, Bip, Santa's Whiskey, Paula McDonald, White Lightning, Liz Dumbrell and her grandparents, George Duberty, thank you for shining your light upon him, Dave Strains, Pam, and I also would like to mention a few special children. They are Sebastian, Maverick, Coulter, Cadence, Maddie, Ansley, Karin Vassar's niece, please help them, send recovery, and give their families strength. Also would like to ask for all Ukrainian and Russian children who have been affected by the terrible tragedy that is happening in Ukraine and in Russia too. And for all children in the world who are not feeling well, please send them your help. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for coming. Another day, another stream. Very unusual stream today. Very personal. Boy, I was very emotional this morning. Thank you. Will be another message tomorrow, as usual. Come back and give me another chance. Let's do it again. Before I leave today, I would like to ask you to say out loud with me, as usual, Carthago delenda est.